Are you neurodivergent and you're fed up of being told by society and doctors, you have a disorder, take some pills? What if being neurodivergent and having things such as ADHD or autism is actually a gift and a blessing? Stick about to find out why. So, if we look at people who are famous in history, there are so many artists, musicians, scientists, etc., who either we know now have been diagnosed with either ADHD or autism, such as Gary Newman, who says that having autism is the reason that he does so well with his music. He made electronic 80s tunes. And in looking back onto classical history and musicians and artists, for instance, it has been suggested that musicians such as Mozart and Beethoven, that they were on one of the spectrums. And if you look at painters such as Michelangelo and Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh, wherever you are from, you might say it differently. Technically, his name is Van Gogh, but they are seen as people who most likely were on the neurodivergent spectrum. So if those people back then had been told, take some pills to suppress your disorder, then it would have suppressed their wonderful, unique way of looking at creativity, of looking at the world. It would have suppressed their emotions and the different ways that they expressed them and dealt with them. Now, to be different does not mean there's something wrong with you. It's actually the opposite. In society, everything seems to conform to this mold, like a square ice cube mold. What if being a square ice cube is old and outdated and there are new, better ways of doing things? And that's where we can get inspiration from these people like Michelangelo, Mozart, etc. They had a different way of looking at things, of processing, of seeing the world. And that is actually an amazing gift to have, to be able to see new perspectives that are outside of society's standard boring square. And I think a lot of people who identify as old souls, that is, they feel that they've lived before, had past lives, and I put myself in that category, then we often have also a different way of looking at things that's not fitting into society's box. We're often the misfits. So to be neurodivergent or an old soul, and I think often old souls are neurodivergent, it's like we don't want to conform to society's square box. We're here to create something new. So start to notice your ways of seeing things differently as a blessing rather than a curse. So the question isn't what's wrong with me, because there's nothing wrong with you. You are just right as you are right now. The question is, how can I make this work to my advantage and for my highest good? So being on a spectrum, say I'm not diagnosed, but I'm definitely on the low end of ADHD and probably autism too. If the ADHD side, I can work with or for others and be totally focused. But as soon as I'm doing my own thing, I will start 20 different things. So for me, being on the low end of the spectrum, it's not really having too much negative impact on my day-to-day life. But the more we go up the spectrum of something, the more it can be all-encompassing. So if you feel you're in a place where it's kind of all-encompassing, then one of the best things that we can do is start to become aware of the nervous system. So it's all about how we are feeling safe, feeling regulated, being able to feel grounded, being able to feel calm, being able to focus, not being in survival mode. And if our nervous system is not regulated, then we can get more distracted, more hyper, more confused, have insomnia, and physical, mental health problems, all these things. And obviously this doesn't just happen to people who are neurodivergent, it happens to everyone. Your nervous system can fluctuate. So the thing with being neurodivergent is often doctors will just prescribe medicine and they won't actually ask about your lifestyle, your diet, your mental health. They will just say, oh, you have a disorder, take some pills, suppress it. what if there's a better way? And that is starting to be aware of the nervous system, how we are feeling. So you might even want to like check in with yourself right now. You can even pause this video for like 20 seconds and just close your eyes to block out the world and just check in with your body. What do I feel right now in my body? Does it feel calm? Does it feel tense? Does it feel on edge? Do I feel like I need to do some repetitive behavior like tapping? This is a thing that we can do with OCD as well. I've got that too. You can do tapping or touching things or playing with your hair. There's like so many ways that we self-soothe when we're feeling stressed or on edge. And so just to become aware of how your body is feeling right now internally. Where is your breath? How fast is it? Is it slow? Can you feel your feet on the ground? Can you notice where your breath is in your body? And if it's quite fast or quite high, could you start to relax your breath more? Bring it further down in the body, maybe into the stomach where it feels more peaceful and grounded. Like when we're going to sleep, the body is very peaceful to be able to go to sleep. So if you can do this every night when you're falling asleep, you can bring yourself into relaxation anytime you want. Two really good ways to start doing this are to do a mindful breathing meditation every day and specific types of breath. So as I was just mentioning, you can do certain breaths like 7-11, where you slowly breathe into a count of 7 and slowly breathe out to a count of 11. So when the out breath is longer than the in breath, it releases more carbon dioxide from the body, which starts to relax the entire body. It tells the body, there is no danger, I can be safe, I can let go. And you might want to set a timer for a couple of minutes to do this type of breathing. You might notice when you start doing, you might yawn, and that's a good thing. It means that your body is relaxing. And the mindful meditation is just set a timer, again, a couple of minutes a day. It could be 3 minutes to start with. You don't have to put any like big pressure on yourself. And just start the timer. And just like I was saying before, just close your eyes. Notice where your breath is in your body. You don't need to change your breath. Just notice where it is. Just observe it. Let the breath come and go. If any thoughts come and go, it's totally normal, it's totally fine. Just let the thought come to the end of the sentence and then let it go and carry on coming back to the breath. And the more that we can do things like this, the more we can regulate our nervous system and we can find inner peace and grounding. And it starts to really help with symptoms that can flare up with, you know, different mental health, physical health, anything, like different conditions that people have. There is an awesome YouTuber, a light worker, whose name is Aaron Doughty, and he speaks about how he used to have ADHD and he was on meds for it, and then he started doing 15 minutes of meditation a day. His one was to use a candle, so he would just light a candle or use one that is electric, whatever, and just look at the flame for 15 minutes and just be aware of his breath and be aware of the flame, tuning out the entire room, letting go of thoughts and just coming back to focusing on the breath and the flame. And he did this for a couple of weeks. After a couple of weeks, he was able to come off ADHD medication. So research also has found that meditation lights up the same parts of the brain as ADHD medication. If you're on meds, don't ever just come off them immediately because your body needs time to adjust. But if you're able to find some safe, holistic ways to find that regulation and that peace within your body and your mind, then you may find that over time, you don't need the medication as much. But if you're going to come off medication, please ask your doctor because they will advise the safest way to do it. So yeah, just coming back to the original point of neurodivergence is not a curse, it's a blessing and a gift. So how are you different? How do you feel you're different? And what are the things that you feel you do differently or see the world differently with your neurodivergence? This is such a sacred gift you've been given. And maybe there are ways that you can um, contribute to being part of the change you want to see in the world with these amazing, unique gifts. You know, again, going back to the classical painters and the artists, if they said there's something wrong with me, I'm going to take medication, stuff it down, and I'm never going to paint, we wouldn't have their amazing art, their work in the world to inspire us to this day. So maybe you can be one of those people who's going to inspire many with your amazingly different way of thinking. I would love to know down below in the comments if this video has been an eye-opener or inspiring for you today. Let me know how it's helped you to think or see things differently about your unique gifts. And at the end, I'm going to link a video for several ways to reset our nervous system. They include the ways that I've been talking about with breathing and meditation, and they go into more ways as well. So if you like this content, give a like or a sub, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.